Hello, my little friends. Welcome back to my channel Storytime with me. So, I am here with a very interesting story today to share with you all. And if you listen to this story till the end, this story will change your life. If you apply this moral to your life, you can be very much successful in your life. So let's see what's there in the story. Okay, so if you like the story, you will hit the like, and for more such stories, you will subscribe to my channel. So let's begin with the story. What is the name of the story? Finding a New Spring. What is a spring, children? A spring in this story is a source of water, underground water, which suddenly comes out to the surface, right? So, what happened? Once upon a time, a tradesman was leading a caravan to another country to sell his good. What is a tradesman? A businessman. And what is caravan? Caravan means a group of people moving from one place to another place. We use this word caravan when the traders travel across the deserts. They cover long distance from one country to another country, group of peoples moving together. Okay, this is called caravan. So a tradesman was leading a caravan. He was the leader of the caravan and was moving to another country. Why he was moving to another country? For selling his goods. Along the way, they came to an edge of an immensely hot sand desert. So, on the way, they, as they were moving, they came to an edge where the desert was very hot. As we all know, that desert obviously is very hot in the morning. They asked about and found that during the daytime the sun heats up the fine sand until it is burning hot, so no one, even bullocks or horses, can't walk on it. So they found out that during the daytime the sun becomes so hot that it becomes impossible for movement. The animals can't walk on the hot sand. So the caravan leader hired a desert guide, one who could follow the stars so that they could travel at night when the sun would cool down. So the desert leader, what he had decided, that he will hire a guide, because in the morning it's not possible to move in the hot scorching sun. Over the hot sand, the animals will not be able to move, they will fall sick. So he decided that we will move the caravan only during the night, and for moving in the night he hired a guide, because he doesn't know the way in which he can't see at night, so he will not be able to move the caravan. So he hired a guide who can follow the stars and tell them the way in which they had to move forward. And at night, you know, children, the sand becomes cool, it cools down, it rises, the temperature rises in the desert. In during the daytime it becomes very hot, and during the night it automatically cools down, and it becomes easier for the people and the animals to move on the sand. Thus they began their nighttime journey across the desert, and as decided by the leader, they decided to move during the night. See, this is the caravan. Can you see? With people inside, and bullocks are moving the caravan. So these are all the traders who are moving from one country to another. See. Can you all see the picture? Now let's see what had happened. So every night after eating their evening meal, they would move further on their journey. One such night, the desert guide who was driving the first cart dozed off to sleep as he had overwritten. So, as decided, every night they used to move in the desert after having their evening meal. But one such night, what happened? The desert guide, which the tradesman had hired, dozed off to sleep. He fell asleep. Deep he after the as he had overeaten. After he had finished his meal, he had overeaten and he fell asleep. Now, if the guide fell asleep, everything will be in a mess. The bullocks were gone, now moving unguided, gradually turned to the side and went in a big wide circle until they ended up at the same place they had started from. So, when the guide slept, what happened? The bullocks were moving without any direction. They moved, and gradually they turned to the same place from where they had began. So it was only the distance, not they did not covered any distance. Only they moved in a circle and automatically came to the place where they had started. So they haven't moved forward a bit. Okay, and this had happened because the guide slept, dozed off to sleep. Understood? Now, see what will happen now? As morning set in, people realized they were back to the same spot they had camped at the day before. So, when the morning came, what they realized that they had returned to the same place where they had camped the day before. So, no miles was covered. Okay, they haven't moved forward yet. They only moved in a circle and came back to the same place. They lost heart and began to worry. They had run out of water and had very little food supply. There was panic and chaos everywhere. So they were now very much worried because they had no water with them now left, and they had very little food with them. So, what will happen? How will they survive? How will they remain alive in this hot desert? They were very much worried about it. They began to blame the caravan leader and the desert guide for their condition. We can do nothing without water, they complained. Then the tradesman thought to himself, if I lose courage in the middle of this disastrous situation, my leadership has no meaning. So they were blaming the leader, the caravan leader, the tradesman who took the caravan, and the leader who was guiding, because he was the only one who fell asleep. So they were saying that it's not possible for them to stay in this desert without any food and water. The tradesman was very much, like you can say, in a tension what to do next, but he thought that as he is the leader of this group, he should not lose hope and courage. If he loses hope, then everything will get worse and worse. So, and his leadership will have no meaning. He had to he had to thought an idea, he has to find a solution to all this problem and make his men move forward. Instead of weeping and regretting this misfortune, I must face the situation. So he began walking back and forth, trying to think of a plan to save them all. So he was not like very much worried. He thought that it's of no use if I weep and regret this misfortune. What he was doing, he started thinking of the solution through which they can come out of this disastrous situation. So he kept on thinking. He was walking back and forth, and a plan, so that a plan can come to him. He can click a plan. So, next, what happened? The tradesman began to look around and noticed a small clump of grass. You can see grass here. So, the tradesman, what he did as he was moving back and forth, he noticed a small clump of glass on the ground. He knew that without water, no plant could live in a desert. And he knew that without water, we know that no plant can survive in the desert. So he thought that there must be water inside the ground. So he called over the most energetic of his fellow travelers and asked them to dig up the ground near that very spot. So he called the travelers who were very much energetic, who was very much like you can say strong and energetic. He called those people and asked them to hit the ground where he saw the grass, because he thought that there must be some water inside the grass, and because of that water only this plant have grown. They dug, and after a while they hit a large stone. They stopped and said, "This effort is useless. We are just wasting our time." But the tradesman replied, "No, my friends, if we give up now, all our efforts will be ruined and our poor animals will die. Let us not lose hope and courage." So the men kept on digging, but what happened? They hit a large stone and said to their leader that this effort is useless. It's no use of digging here. It's just the waste of time. Then what did the tradesman replied? He replied that don't lose your hope. Keep on trying. If we lose the hope and courage and stop doing our work, everything will be ruined. Our effort will be ruined. You have put so much of effort to dig the ground, and put a little more bit of effort, because I am sure that there is water inside. If we stop doing this, the animals will die. So we must try harder. As he said this, he got down into the hole, put his ear to the stone, and heard the sound of flowing water. So he was encouraging his men not to stop the work. And after that, what he did, he got down into the hole that was dug, and put his ear to the stone. He put his ear close to the stone, and he could hear the sound of flowing water. He could hear that water is flowing under the stone. If we dig some more, for some more time, we will obviously get the water. Immediately he called over a strong boy who had been digging and told him to strike the rock with a heavy hammer. So he called a strong boy and told him that strike this rock with as much strength you have, you will strike the rock. The boy lifted the hammer over his head and brought it down to hit the rock as hard as he could. So the boy, with all his strength, hit the rock, and he himself was more surprised when the rock split in two and a mighty flow of water gushed out. So, see what had happened. As the boy hit the rock hard, he was surprised himself to see that water is coming out from the ground. The water is coming to the surface. A force flow of water gushed out. See in this picture, as they are digging, and they are surprised to see that water is coming out from under the ground. Okay? Next, let's see. Now all the people were overjoyed. They were very much happy because they got the source of water. There will be no scarcity of water now. They drank water, bathed the animals, cooked their food, and ate heartily. So now what they drank water because they were without water, they were very thirsty, bathed the animals, they cleaned all their animals, cooked their food. For cooking also we need water, right? Without water we cannot cook our food. They cooked their food and ate heartily. And ate after very long time. They have food, they drank water, bathed their animals, everything which was lacking due to the scarcity of water, they did all that after finding out the source of water. See this picture, how they are bathing the animals. See, they are cooking. Can you see? They are cooking, they are drinking water, they are enjoying themselves, right? Is taking bath in this water. So they were very much happy. Before they left, they raised a high banner at the spot so that other travelers could see it from afar and come to the new spring in the middle of the hot sand desert. So they put a banner at the spot. Why they put a banner? So that other travelers could see from far away distances, and for letting them know that this is the spot where you can get water. After the sunset, they started their journey and reached the town in the morning. So after sunset, as it was planned, they started their journey and they reached the town in the next morning. They reached their destination. They sold goods, making huge profits, and happily returned to the village. So they sold their goods, which was the main purpose of the tradesman, to go there and sell the goods. So they sold them, make profits, and happily returned to their village. So such a nice story, children, with so much to learn from this story. So what is the what you can say the moral of this story? With determination and power, you can achieve anything. Understood? So you have to be determined. If you are doing some work, first you may not see the success. Even you can see failure in your life. And if you leave doing that, you are a loser. You have stopped trying. So you should keep determination and move forward. One day success will come to you. You don't have to move towards the success. If you keep on trying, success is bound to come to you. There is no other way, no other option. It will come. That is for sure. Okay? But if you lose hope, if you stop trying, nothing is working, nothing is happening, I will not do this, I will leave it, then obviously nothing will happen. Understood, children? So, willpower is also one thing which you must have within yourself. That is the determination to do something. Things might not be good previously. At first, things might not turn good. It might not. But if you lose the willpower and determination, you are a loser at that very time. You have lost everything. But if you keep trying, you are bound to win. Understood? So hope you like this video, you enjoyed the story. If you like, hit the like button and force more such stories, more such interesting stories which will give lessons to your life, which will impact your life. Subscribe to my channel, and all of you stay well. Have a great day ahead.